All right, welcome back, everyone. So today we have an article on the New York Times titled, "The Government Protects Our Food and Cars. Why Not Our Data? The United States is virtually the only developed nation without a comprehensive consumer data protection law and an independent agency to enforce it." Now, most of the article is basically about how we need a new government agency in order to regulate the data of users and the data that users give to like big tech corporations like Facebook, Google, and all of that stuff. And while I don't really agree with the sentiment that we need an entirely new government agency, more bureaucracy, I don't agree with the sentiment that we need more bureaucracy to solve this problem. I think some light regulations, some, pretty common sense regulations can probably take care of this. But let me read a part of the article that I mostly agree with. So it starts off with, "Some experts say rising public concern about consumer data is based more on hysteria than actual harm. Creating a separate agency, they say, could hinder the development of beneficial digital services. A new agency like this would serve the function of meeting public appetite for some kind of demonstrative enforcement reaction to Facebook and Google." Jane Bombauer, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, a law professor at the University of Arizona who studies the social benefits and costs of big data, told me. But she was skeptical about the need for a standalone data regulator. Of all the issues facing consumers today, that is not the one that deserves this level of intervention. And I agree with Jane quite a bit here. I do think there needs to be some rules in place for data and how big tech companies, manage data given to them by users, but I don't think we need an entirely separate government agency for that. The bottom line that I basically want is I don't want these companies selling my data to like bad entities. So for example, terrorist organizations, rogue nation states, things of that nature. Obviously, we don't want big tech corporations, selling all of our data out to groups like that. So I do think the government should probably have a small list of entities that tech corporations can't sell our data to. But like I said, I don't think it should be an extensive list. Not only that, but people are also talking about this a lot more because Google recently bought out Fitbit, and Fitbit makes a lot of, I think, wearable peripherals like smartwatches and things of that nature. So Google can basically integrate that with Android a lot better now. And people are worried that they're going to use it to stalk them, because if you're always wearing a watch, it's going to track how many steps you take, can probably track your heartbeat, can probably track where you go at all times. I mean, your phone can do that, but the watch could probably do it even more. It can track biometrics more than likely if it's like attached to you. Like I said, it can probably track your heartbeat and stuff, can track how many steps you take throughout the day, things of that nature. But I think the bottom line here is that this is just my opinion, but I think the bottom line here is we need to avoid bureaucracy. I think a lot of problems we face now from the government is due to bureaucracy. There's just too many levels within government agencies, and it's so complicated. I mean, like the US tax code is completely overcomplicated. There's no way any normal person can understand that shit. That's why everyone files their taxes through TurboTax, because the tax code is bureaucratic as fuck. So I don't think if there is some kind of agency that regulates big tech and data and that kind of stuff, they should avoid bureaucracy. They shouldn't be arresting people for petty crimes. So for example, I don't think all of the data should be funneled over to governments and then the government analyzes it and like arrests people based on what they said, which actually happens in the UK according to the Daily Mail .uk. There was an article there talking about how arrests over offensive tweets increased. The title of the article here is "Be Careful What You Tweet. Number of arrests for offensive social media posts soars as police target internet trolls." So obviously, I don't want the government agency doing this, arresting people for petty crimes, turning into the narcs of the internet. I don't want to see that happen. Like, for example, I believe Count Dankula posted some video of his pug doing a certain offensive salute, which, I mean, the guy's basically just shitting around. He's fucking around. Do I think he should have got arrested for that? No. Do I think he was being kind of stupid? Sure, whatever. He was just making a dumb joke or whatever. But that's the equivalent of like smoking weed on the fucking internet, Like if your neighbor is smoking weed Yeah, that might be a little bit annoying, might be a little bit stupid because they're a bunch of dumb stoners or whatever. I smoke weed like every day, by the way. So when I say dumb stoners, it's okay. It's coming from me. But yeah, so basically, like if someone next door is fucking smoking weed, that's a fucking petty crime. I don't think they should be arrested for it. They might be a little bit annoying. They might be kind of stupid. They might be acting kind of stupid because they're high. I don't think they should be arrested over it. I'm not a fucking narc. I don't think people should be arrested over petty crimes. So that's the big thing. I don't want to see, if the government starts regulating our data, I don't want to see it turn into that. I don't want to see it turn into the fucking DEA. Not only that, but one thing that a lot of people misunderstand is that Facebook, Google, Instagram, a lot of these big tech companies are collecting your data consensually because it's written in the terms of service that they can do that and even sell your data. I'm pretty sure it's buried somewhere within that EULA or TOS that nobody fucking reads. I do think they should make it a little bit more clear to people that they're collecting our data and selling it, but people need to realize that it's consensual. If you use their platform, you're basically surrendering your data. When you post a picture on Facebook, when you write something on Facebook, when you post a tweet, when you post a video, you are basically consensually and surrendering your data to these big tech corporations. So the truth is, if you really want to avoid it, you just shouldn't use it at all. That's basically it. So, I mean, the bottom line is I basically think it should be consensual. Big tech companies shouldn't be collecting your data without your permission. That should be obvious. Not only that, but when big tech corporations get hacked or something, I mean, that's a little bit out of their realm of control. They can't really control that. Any system can get hacked. They're obviously going to get hacked. Yes, I do think they should be held accountable, but a lot of people have that knee-jerk reaction of just flipping off at Facebook and Google when they get hacked and their data gets leaked. I'm sorry, but that's a little bit outside of their control. They got hacked. They didn't mean to leak all that data, in the case of a hack anyway. When they're leaking the data, or just selling it to, random people or whatever, that's a little bit different. But when hackers actually hack into the system and steal data, that's a little bit different. And yes, I do think the company should be held accountable for it, but like I said, it's a little bit beyond their realm of control. Anyway, that's really all I have to say for today, so be sure to subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.